Hello, this is Tom Lesher with the weekly Paleo report for January 30th, 2011. February is here before you know it. It was a very fast month. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's going to continue. I hate to say that I told you so, but if you're into astrology, then you know. We're at the top of the roller coaster ride. 2010 was the climb, and now, phew, we're gaining speed. Things are speeding up. This is a very, very powerful week. And if you think things are changing, well, it's time for more change. Let's look at it a little closer. Basically, we're coming around to the close of the lunar cycle. We're going to have a new moon on Wednesday, conjunct Sun, Mars, Moon, conjunct in the sign of Aquarius. Very powerful. And on Thursday, we're going to have Venus move into Capricorn, Mercury move into Aquarius. And what does that do? That makes all of the planets, except for Saturn, within this 90-degree angular relationship. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Everything is way out there because these are the way out there signs. These are the transpersonal. This last quadrant of the zodiac has to do with life. And if you thought that Scorpio was forces beyond your control, when it comes to Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, we're dealing with situations where we have been set up. And it's obvious at times, especially if you're on a spiritual path, to simply see that, you know what? Spirit set me up for this. And Aquarius is the sign where you can detach enough to observe yourself. And this can be very challenging now. What we have is a situation where the moon's nodes are in reverse, and they're nearing the solstice points. By March 4th, the moon's nodes are going to go into Sagittarius and Gemini for a year and a half. But for now, they're finishing up and completing this Capricorn-Cancer axis, which has to do with emotional security and financial stability and security. And from now till March 4th, as this axis continues to tighten, we are coming into a worldwide situation of large amounts of insecurity around the future, around where we're going, about who we are, and about what actual fulfillment is. This is where, well, there's a couple of things I want to bring up today. The next one is that Saturn last week went retrograde. I missed that report last week, but I'm making up for it now. Last week, Saturn went retrograde at 17 degrees of Libra. It's going to return back to where it was right around Halloween, the last week of October, 10 degrees of Libra, and then it's going to go back direct again. So over these next few months with this Saturn retrograde time period, there is a chance to review, to reconsider, and to really look at what happened towards the end of October, beginning of November, and through the course of these next couple of months, revisit, reconsider, renegotiate, recontract. This is retrograde Saturn. It also makes Saturn very powerful because it's the closest that the sun is. Basically, Saturn is going retrograde because the Earth is passing it by. So we're coming closer to it when it's retrograde. Makes it that even much stronger of a powerful influence, besides the fact that the ruler of the North Node is Saturn. And where the North Node is, its ruler is where you want to look for the path of evolution. The South Node, the Moon, is the path of least resistance. So while it's in Cancer, the Moon is ruling this. And so for the next couple of months, until March 4th, actually, it's 1 month, Saturn is the ruler of our future. When it changes into Sagittarius, Jupiter is going to be the ruler of the future. And it's interesting that that Jupiter is in Aries. So here's the scoop and what all that astrology means, yeah? It's almost as if this next month is a month of duty and responsibility. It's a month of really seeing ourselves through partnership and relationship and dealing with our shadow. And this is the beauty of the Sun, Moon, Mars conjunction in Aquarius. We have the opportunity at this time, this week in particular, on Wednesday, that new moon, it is intense. It's a time to get in touch with our anger. And what is anger but suppression? Saturn rules over suppression. And we know that if we're getting triggered, if someone's triggering us and we have an anger response, it is our shadow. So a lot of this stuff around relationships now, it's a time to really look at and reconsider and, reevaluate our own past, our own shadow. What past figure, what other figure is standing behind this person who's pissing me off? It's not just this person. And on the other hand, a lot of times we pick very accurate screens for our projections, and it may very well be the other person. But if they're triggering you, you need to look at your own shit. Yeah? But on the other hand, there is this sense of, and this is the main bottom line right now, is it's time to really understand relationship in terms of not only a mirror and not only a projection, but what is the reality of the relationship? What is the spiritual potential? How much of what you are seeing in a relationship, in this other person, is real, and how much of it is your imagination, your fantasy, your rose-colored glasses? Well, there's no better time than this week. Aquarius is non-attachment. It's taking a few steps back. It's cooling off. It's being objective. Aquarius is the genius in us. Aquarius is what can really see through the bullshit. And, of course, now as Venus moves into Capricorn for a month, and Mercury moves into Aquarius for a month, this is really a time of objective analysis of who and what we are and what this relationship is about. And then, in March, the nodes change signs, Jupiter takes over, and that Jupiter in Aries is going to be much more sovereign, much more autonomous. This is almost like a time here, I would say this week and, up through February a little bit, as Venus goes through Capricorn. This is a time where we can clear a lot of karma. We can really repent, feel into our regret, feel into our grief or our losses and our sadness, and deal with these. And as we clear that, and we don't get into self-blame, we don't get into a space. What is self-blame? Self-blame is guilt. It's not about guilt. It's not about redoing things. It's about getting it. It's about learning and evolving. And every situation is an opportunity to do that. And all you can do is say, you know what? I screwed up. I said the wrong thing. I did the wrong thing. I see it now. Well, it's time to realize that, take it in as a learning experience, and go forward into the future knowing that you're conscious of it. And that's the main major point. Making the unconscious conscious. Not repeating. It's breaking the pattern. Deconditioning. This is what Aquarius is all about. And we've got Mars in Aquarius for another couple of weeks. It's a very positive time. And this new moon on Wednesday is a very positive time for setting the seeds of a future path that may not be realized till after Mars goes into Aries, around April, when we got Jupiter, Uranus. But now is the time for planting those seeds, for having that dream, for looking ahead and clearing what needs to be cleared, and stepping back and stepping away from needs to be stepped back and stepped away from. Mars is that sword that cuts us free and revolts or rebels against tyranny, the tyranny of the past, the tyranny of our own conditioning. So it's very hard, it can be very difficult dealing with these anger and with this anger directed at yourself, because you see a lot of your shit when Aquarius comes around, Aquarius just sees it. And, it's hard, and yet at the same time, the rewards are very great. Because if we can move into this new realm with this third eye open and without repeating some of the past stuff, then it's going to be a powerful new future that we create in an authentic space out of open hearts with true love. So, I wish you the best in cleaning out your closet and cutting your cords and looking at your stuff without drowning in it, and moving on, moving forward. Look forward to connecting with you again next week. Until then, namaste and enjoy.